Thank you for joining us once again this morning. My name is Lungelele Makakula. It is the 7th of February 2024. Sanvusela, thank you for joining us. Good morning and welcome to the Kusile Breakfast Show. You can also watch us on our YouTube page, Eswatini TV, as well as on DSTV on channel 286. How are you this morning?
Quite a big day today, Lulu. I'll tell you, the whole of Africa is excited for the Africa Cup of Nations matchup, between the clash between Nigeria and South Africa. There's already a debate at Sereni. Amapiano originated from South Africa. Nigeria is claiming Amapiano, but they have Afro beats. So today is the day of reckoning. Gulama team la Mabili, Africa Cup of Nations. It's going to be really interesting who comes out on top. I mean, their goalkeeper is still the topic of conversations, but the game will be tonight. We will see what's going to unfold. Outside of that, on the show today, we are going to have discussions around the Dempilo with Kusile, the cancer epidemiologist, around just the concerns of a global cancer burden that's growing and not enough is done to eliminate or rather intervene with services. Now, according to the World Health Organization, most countries are not adequately financing priority cancer as well as palliative care services. Kusile Dlamini, who is the cancer epidemiologist with extensive experience studying how to eliminate cancer, by the way, will join us on the program to tell us if there are still discrepancies when Eswatini is compared to other countries in screening as well as cancer prevention measures, and just, how far we've come as a country regarding the cancer burden eliminations. HPV vaccine rollout. We did also see the program Leahamba Gahle, but have they covered the whole country is the question, and how far do they want to go this year? And I'm sure there are other programs that they want to streamline, but kubege na goge kulwa ne cancer start kulmisa gabanje kubona nje ngaklamanye mave ukuthi we just lost President Geingob to prostate cancer. King Charles has also just been diagnosed with cancer, even though we don't know which type of cancer. We'll discuss all those issues around early detection, the importance of that.
And later on the show, Sinaphumelele Dlamini from the TV license team. Sidokhuluma kabanti nje ngomgcoka bekubhadala kwe-TV license. Kahle kahle uthosinikethe update ukuthi ingabe umnyaka lophelile uhambe kanjani in terms of compliance from the public, ukuva ukuthi ngabe vele service amaswati siyakucondzisisa nokuthi siubhadalelani umthelo wabo mabona ukuthi sabe sinayo lo mhla ekseni sibabonile ke bentana ama-inspections countrywide kakhulukazi nje sifundeni saselubonjeni lapho bavakashele khona titolo letiningi kanye namakhaya lamaningi. I think la akuveta nje uphumelele indaba ukuthi vele labanye abadi naloku ukuthi kumele bawubhadale lo mthelo. Kapha ke so bayachubeka balibandla bayachubeka bayaphuma bayafundisa ipublic ngako kubhadala kwemthelo. Babe nelinye ihlelo ke labalisukumisile la know your customer lapho bebashayela khona abantu bababuta imininingwane yabo kodwa batawukhona ukuthi ba-update i-system yabo noma ba-update i-data yabo. So sabe sinayo kuva kabane tongo lete ukuthi kuhamba kanjani in terms of compliance, bangakhi mhlawumbe lesibabathumele emasamani nokuthi ngabe this year baphokophele ukuthi bafinyelele kubantu labangakhi labafisa ukuthi bawubhadale lo mthelo. Joining us at 7 lo mhla ekseni to ungayi ndzawo kumanje sibuke na dathamba imbili kumaphepha nzabo. Asiqale sibuke i-Times of Eswatini. Aziletolet hamba embili. Monday night storm leaves trail of destruction. Lithomekele leti veta tindlu tebamfu letilimele khona lapha eMbabane. Kanti kulenye lihamba embili. ACC ex-minister matter still grounded 8 years later. This is the matter in which a judgment issued by the CJ rendered the ACC toothless. Difficulties in locating and serving second respondent Fred Ngeri in Nigeria. Interpol has been roped in. More on page 2. Kuletinye thamba imbi. Deputy master daughter is mismanaging Inyanga's 8 million Malangeni estate. Kulenye lahamba imbili. Man hits and kills wife with log. kanti kulenye elihamba embili drama as textile workers block boss and demand pay.
Making the leading story, good emidlalo, good times of Eswatini this morning. It seems like there's another hope for Guake as the Mozambican side has tabled 280,000 emalangeni for him. League runners up express interest, send proposal to Mbabane Swallows. Another leading story, Green Mamba coach Ernest Mavuso has expressed that he doesn't deserve to be fired following the poor run that his team has been going through recently. From the Africa Cup of Nations and Côte d'Ivoire 2023, Osimhen declared fit for AFCON semis. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
All right, moving on to the Eswatini Observer. Kuleti hamba imbili lo mhla. Nurses paid and clinics are to open. Kulenye elihamba imbili. Meteorological department warns expect more storms. Kanti kulenye elihamba imbili Inyati and Fesbik settle a dispute. And also police warn ladies' house on naming and shaming.
Debidlalo, no somhlolo for Ingwenyama Cup quarter-finals as Birds bull in Mavuso double header. Green Mamba take on Singizini Hotspurs at Mayaluga. Games are to be played on Saturday, Nangel Sonfo. Ex-Wanderers player Redondo heavily assaulted and dead. Former Manzini Wanderers player Melusi Malinzisa was assaulted with fists and stomped by a group of men, leading to his death. That's a very sad story. Another one, Wanderers signed 13 players. The name Situmo seems to have had hits and misses at Hub Giants Manzini Wanderers these days, following the departure of superfan Situmo Ngwenya and again the signing of Situmo Stira Dlamini.
Headlines on the Eswatini Daily News. Storm damage, 858 people affected and 143 households in ruins. Taiwan brings healthcare warmth to Nkaba residents. More on page 4. Until Minister Shakandu arrives in Morocco for high-level conference.
Igabuyi Kasomhlolo, that's an Ingwenyama Cup leading story, speaking to hopes by management committee to have this weekend's quarter-final matches at the country's soccer mecca, dashed as Mayaluga Stadium and Mavuso Sports Center will play host of the last 8 matches. On another one, Singizini is out to stand Green Mamba, according to their manager Shiba. Bafana have history to overcome against Nigeria. That's the Africa Cup of Nations story that has made headlines on all the newspapers this morning, and those are all the leading headlines. Kusa walomohla sitawubona ke ukuthi lusuku luqhubeka kanjani to testament all these headlines. Sibahlele imakethe sitabuya sibuke indaba esiswati.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu sifile sive sikhulume.
Asimze sinimukele nathi indzaba. Imalungiselelo yokuvula kwesigaba secala seParliamentary elishumi nakubili yahamba kahle njengoba saya ngasemaphethelweni. Lokhu kuvetwa kumabhalane eParliamentary Benedict Xaba lothi namalungu etindlu ezimbili eParliamentary sekavele ahlonyiswe ngaloko lokubhekeke kubo ngalelanga.
Ukuthi Ngonyama ivule isigaba sekucala sePhalamende eli-12 ngalesihlanu, mapalana wePhalamende Benedict Xaba uthi amalungiselelo asahamba kahle sangasemaphethelweni.
Sho nje ukuthi lesi vele sigaba lesimcwa kakhulu njalo ukuthi i-session yecala yayo i-12 Parliament lengakubeka kumalungiselelo ethu sesiphose vele sifike ngasekugcineni lengagcizela kakhulu ukuthi siPhalamende sesicalile ukukhipha wona ema-invitation card njengalo sakhuluma lokumcoka kakhulu kuwo kusho ukuthi besifisa ukuthi lonke live libe khona kodwa ke ngokuthi ke simo sePhalamende akusiso lesikhulu kakhulu i-chamber yethu bese kuthi labo ke labathole emakhadi siyathi sathi inhlobo letehlukene so sitawucela ukuthi lelo khadi lolitholile wento esiqiniseke ukuthi uyaliphatha ungaqali ulishiye ekhaya so mawufika kune protocol letawukhona ukuthi ibanakekele nguloyo abeke enzaweni yakhe la kumele ahlale khona bese kubagcizelela ke dona kugcina isikhathi ukuthi asichubeke sisigcine isikhathi uma sithe ekhadini siyaqala nga9:30 sicela ukuthi vele wonke umuntu abe khona nga9:30 say dress code ukuvula kwePhalamende into lenkulu kakhulu kusekusho ipolicy yelive so siyacela ukuthi vele people they must dress to kill kule state opening manje dress to kill masho uvunulile ude ngemvunulo yakho iphelele kubede ngisho kunye lokusalaka
Xaba uphinze ucela sive lesingeke sibe khona kulomsebenzi ngalilanga ePhalamende kuthi silandzele lo msebenzi etinkundleni tekuxhumana njengoba inkulumo yesilo ingumkhombandlela welive lonke etintsabente Eswatini TV kubika samqalisiwe khoza sePhalamende.
Sive sithi iPhalamende eli-12 ayinake ishaya imithetho letawuthuthukisa inhlalakahle yesive ikakhulukazi ekubhizinisi namathuba emisebenzi. Sive besikhuluma ngalesi-kubhekile kuPhalamende eli-12 njengoba itawuvulwa Ngonyama ngalesihlanu.
Kuleminye imisebenzi iPhalamende nemsebenzi wekuqinisekisa intuthuko yemnotfo nenhlalakahle yesive ngekushaya imithetho letawuphumelelisa leyo migomo. Lo msakato ke ucocisene nesive kuva ukuthi yini lesikubhekile kuyiPhalamende eli-12 njengoba kutawuvulwa sigaba sekucala sayo ngalesihlanu.
Siyacela basibukele thine bomake kakhulu. Emadvodza athathe nakathatha umfati wesibili bese wena wekucala. Sewuyalahlwa lapha nebantu abakawusanako manje siyacela kube nemithetho lo tosibukela thine bomake. Kuthi noma ngabe le ndvodza seyimthethe lo mfati but sinakeke singabe sesesilahlwa lapha khashana kube nemithetho nje lokucinile vele nje
and futhi lonke yanguthanda ukuthi kwenteke la ngekhathi sihloniphaneni singabukelani phansi kube doloba nale pride ngoba le pride iyahluka begcineni ngeke isite lokho nalolwimi sicela bafunze ukukhulumisana kahle bangakhulumi nje as if mina nami inside akakhuluma sokhulumela sive wakhale live lethu nje lokumcoba ukuthi siphathane kahle sonke siyafanana sihlobo sonke nje ngoba lo myanga yadu sikusihlobo nabantu but ukuthi siphathane kahle
siyethemba abantu asikhulumela live libuye konke kuhambe kahle ngosiyami sithandazela ukuthi umnyaka usiphathe kahle basikhulumele lokungiko ngosiyami ukuze sithi live lithuthukile lempilo
cishe sathi nasokhetha ayati kuthi lesakhuluma yini siyathemba ukuthi kutawuphumelela semthandazweni waloko sawathuma ayati wona kuthi sawathumani ngime lapho nje
Ngicela nje manje basibambise nje as i-youth sicela nje manje basibambise emathubeni emisebenzi cause sibantu sihleti labanye sine-certificates manje basikhulumele nje sikhulume sithole malunga sithole amathuba sonke alalinganayo emisebenzi
sicelako malunga ePhalamende sicela inhlonipho nalaba labanatha lamanti azamponjwana sicela inhlonipho bahloniphe
Mina nje ngithi kulamalunga ePhalamende asekasibukele thina bomake bethu make jathi siyahlupheka siyacela sibonakala ngathi asikafundi kale sifundzile nathi manje nje kude lemisebenzi nathi siphanzile abamfana letikolweni basifuna imali leti ayiniwe mawuthi uyabeka lana bayakuqosha wona nje lamaphoyisa akukhoshisa ngathi wena awuphili la nhlo kanti phela nathi siphanzile abamfana sathi noma sebafuna siyothengisa le mtimba yethu
mina ngingakhulumela thina bomosomabhizinisi lamancane lesithengisako njengala kasomhlolo nje ngade sema-primary la kasomhlolo nje nabangasinciphisa le mali lokuthi uyabhadala egedeni phindze nelitafula nalo imali seyayaba inkulu ekubhadala litafula mane basinciphisele lapho-ke nala timakethe la sithengisela khona manje basibone nkosiyami basakhele le timakethe tethu ngoba nayina nje imvula siyanethwa yabo bese awusakhona ukuyothengisa emakethe khansi nelithayela-ke ude nayo utawumbonya latulu so ulakhile litafula but utawumbonya handa ngetulu.
Lesive siphindze sacela ukuthi emalunga angakhohlwa phela kubuyela esiveni kuyothathisa etindzabeni tentuthuko yemimango kanti mhlabuhlangene uthi iParliament imcoke kusukumiseni imithetho letawubona kufezeka kwemagola kamhlaba entuthuko lekhonsako. Etindzabeni yeSwatini TV kubika Samkelisiwe khoza nginathemba inkosi Mavimbela kalobamba.
Live la kangwane liphokophele ukuthi libe nekudla lokwanele emanti kanye nemicebo waphansi lokwanele ngakashaya umnyaka wa 2030 lekungumgomo wa SDG 6 lokuthatha emave ukuthi athuthukise tonke tinhlangothi letikhona letitawuletha impilo lengcono kubantu babo. Lokuvetwe nguMakhosini Khoza longumcondzisi wenhlangano lebukete amanti kuleli iGlobal Water Affairs ngesikhathi kunemhlangano sikolwa ngelesibili eSibane Hotel lohlose kubuka tinhlangothi letintsatfu lokufuna live la kangwane litithuthukise.
Makhosini Khoza longumcondzisi kiyo inhlangano lebukete indzaba temanti kuleli uthi kunemibiko lemithathu labatayilandzela kufaka ekhatsi luhlangothi lekuhlandeka kwemanti kulungela tehlakalo neluhlangothi lwemandla nekudla lokwanele kute live libe nemicebo nemanti lohlandekile.
Live ke angivete lokuthi kulama concept notes lesiwabalile nje lamathathu live litawusitakala kakhulu ngobe lokhu asikwendi nje ukuthi sikwendela isector thitene sikwendela nje ukuthi lonke live libe nekuthuthuka ikakhulu nje nangaveta lokuthi sine concept note cishe icala letabe ibuketwa kuleli langa lanamhla nelakusasa kudevelopeka kwayo I concept note lesithi I water sanitation and hygiene lokhu ngalawa kufishane nje kubuketa elihlangothi lwemanti netekuhlandeka jikelele I concept note letawubuka lokho siyathi ke ukuthi silive siphokophele ukuthi sifinyelele kuthola noma ke ukuthi sifinyelele ekwetheneni sihlangabetane noma ke sisendena kulesithi we meet ema sustainable development goals SDG 6 more especially lokhuluma ngendzaba ukuthi by 2030 live lifanele lo ukuthi libe selisembili ikakhulu noma ke selihlanganisile ekuthenini libe nemanti lanele kanye netekuhlandeka letisezingeni elisetulu I-concept cishe yekucala leyo letawusita kakhulu live kulelo hlangothi lolo lenye ke I-concept note lesitayibuketa la ngilebuke ikakhulu ema early warning systems nali lihlangothi letehlakalo lesithi tehlakalo nje sitawukhumbula sithi itolo kusihlwa leba kule corridor yabomanzini imbabane sibonile kunetehlakalo lebetikhona lidvuma kamadima lenda konke lokwa nalokwa le concept le note lena ke isisita kakhulu ekuthenini tintfo letinjengaleti silive sikwati lokuthi simelane nato.
Ngemuva kwekuthi lo mkhombandlela wekuthuthukisa letinhlangothi letintsatfu utholakale phindze usentshetwe kute-ke live litawukhona kufaka ticelo tekusekeleka ngetimali etinhlanganweni takamhlaba. Lobikako etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV kubika Phokuhle Dlamini nginasimuva Shongwe eSibane Hotel.
Itiko letempilo lithi likhathatekile ngemibiko lebonakala yanza esive lesihlaselwe sifo selukhwekhwe kakhulu kade etindzaweni etiseskom. Lokuvetwe ngulobuke tifo letinganakeki kahle pheceleti neglected tropical diseases etiko letempilo Mbongiseni Mathobela lovetile ukuthi eminyakeni lophelile kutholakala abantu labangu 5,725 labanalesifo.
Litiko letempilo lithi njengoba kusehlobo kuyashisa kunetimvula letinyenti tiyayetenyuka tinombolo tebantfu labahlaselwa tifo letinganakeki kahle pheceleti neglected tropical diseases noma ke NTDs letifaka ekhatsi isifo semtfunzangati kuletinye. Lobuke letifo itiko letempilo Mbongiseni Mathobela uthi kuletinye tifo itiko letempilo likhathatekile ngesifo selukhwekhwe lesibonakala sanza ikakhulu kade tindzaweni letiseskom.
Ibilhayiza nje kuhlala emandini la ikhona khona wahlala 6 minutes ulakhathe emandini vele lemjikizane itabe siyangena leli banga lebilizer la kuwe khanze ukuthi kuba naso lesifo. Then lokunye under ma entities because ma entities inhlanganisela yetifo is not ukuthi isifo sinye. Sinema worms ema-worms ke isikhathi esiningi atholakala emhlabathini ezisibona lulina siyalima ama-vegetables zethu ezisawalima uyaphakama umhlaba ezikwehla lemvula so khanza ukuthi siyoyena ngasayangcola ezamasangcolile so akasawasheki kahle then sesiyawudla lo mhlabathi sengena lama-worms langekhathi so kuko konke lokho lokumnanzi kuyavikeleka sithi hamba udiwema ngoba ngisiphi isibhedlela lesisedute nawe hamba udiwema. Lokunye lesikubonayo cishe kuphasi kwema-entities lukhwekhwe scabies naso scabies sikhona siyasibona siningi cishe kunathi indzawo lengathi titikomo silikhwekhwe lihambisana nenzabayo kuwasha ukuthi yageza kuma kanjani so siyakhuthala ukuthi abantu abazame phela bageze ngemandi nangensipho babagezela abantwana.
Umbiko welitiko letempilo ngaletifo uveta ukuthi sukela eminyakeni lophelile ngenyanga yamabaza kutfolakele bantfu labangu 5,725 banesifo selikhwekhwe na 653 labanesifo samalale-veva. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samuel Suekhoza Sembabane.
Masipala wedolobha lakaManzini uhlanganise bosomabhizinisi labachamuka kulesifundza ngalesibili ehhotela le-The George kuyowakha luhlaka lokuthuthukisa leli dolobha. Lolu hlaka lwakusukela lonyaka kude kube ngumnyaka wa 2030 ekusho kwalosabambe kuba ngumphathi waleli dolobha Sizwe Dlamini Manzini ukufuna abeli dolobha lelithuthuke afika izingeni lelisetulu phecelezi smart city kanti kude kufezeke lokho kudinga kube nekubambisana emkhatsini walo dolobha uhulumende kanye nabosomabhizinisi.
Le dolobha lakaManzini kubhekeke ukuthi kulomnyaka losetulu libe selifeze ingcenye yemaphupho alo entuthuko kanti ke bosomabhizinisi labancane banenzima lekumele bayidlale. Lokho kuvedwe kulosabambe kuba ngumphathi wamasipala kaManzini Sizwe Dlamini. Dlamini uthi inseya yabo lenkulu lababhekene nayo kulungisa takhiwo letindzala letigcwele edolobheni letidzinga kwakhiwa kabusha.
Inhlelo letifunwa bosomabhizinisi edolobheni ngito tindzaba tekunakekela bosomabhizinisi labancane eveni nako futhi ukuthi edolobheni bayacela ukuthi idolobha libe smart city linguManzini and also sibuke tindzaba te-environment ukuthi Manzini athathe tindzaba te-green city initiatives kuze ukuthi idolobha lakaManzini libe ngilo lelibukekako leliphindze lelithuthukako nangendzaba temnotho. Ngasho ukuthi lisinako edolobheni kakhulu indzaba ye-infrastructure singasho ukuthi idolobha lelidzala infrastructure yayo seyindzala kakhulu in as much as coverishile almost 65% of our infrastructure to be tarred sisenayo le solo ingabi tarred infrastructure edolobheni kuma communities ethu ikakhulu lathinza Bongwane Park sisabukile ukuthi kulo hlelo lo lesilicalako into lesitart attenda leto silidolobha.
Ngemnyaka wa 2020 lidolobha lakaManzini lathola umklomelo wekuba lidolobha leliniketa sive lusito lolusezingeni lelisetulu iSADC Service Award. Lo mklomelo walandzelwa certificate se-ISO 9001-2015. Lobikako etindzabeni yeSwatini TV ngophukuhle Dlamini nginasimuva Shongwe kaManzini.
Siphepho lesihlasele live ngemsombuluko ebusuku sithi kabede emakhaya lalikhulu na43 nabantu labangemakhulu lasiphohlongo na50 lokho kuvedwe ngulochumanisa sive nelibandla leliphongate ehlakalo iNational Disaster Management Agency Wandile Mavuso.
Lesikutfolako ke bekunene ukuthi imiti leshayekile lephephukelwe liphahla yashaya sangcotshwa amafastela limala ibe ngu143 bese kuthi bantu labatsinzekile labatsinbe lesehlakalo babe ngu858 kube nalabathathu ke labalimalako labalimele cishe kakhudlwana balinyatwa ngiwo emathayela la bese ayaphephuka noma tinfo lebabeketi kwemathayela leti lekuthena kuphephuka leliphahla leto tingoda bese tingena la khatsendini tiyabagcoba tikolwa leti tsikabedekile tibetimbili kwase kuthi emasimini umonakalo ube mkhulu kakhulu amaswati lamahle sikhuluma nje uma sicathanisa isilinganisela kuma hectare cishe angu-92 la khona emasimini immbila nemabhontshisi kudla kwamaswati lebeka kulimile kulimele umuntu mhlawumbe angabalilela laba bekunene labavelelwe kulesehlakalo uma bangacwayisa nje bekunene uma sibuka labo labalimele ukuthi ngulaba la ukhanza ukuthi babeka titini naloko kwemathayela abo ngeke ngakuchaza ke kaningi bekunene ukuthi kunebungoti lobukhona edivende tinjalo ngoba sekuphakama namathayela leto tinvo letibekwe la khatsi noma lati kwala mathayela atiphakami nala mathayela ubese kuba ngito leti bese tingena la khatsi endlini tigcoba laba labahleli la khatsi etindlini siyaxwayisa bekunene lokubeka nje letinvo tikwala mathayela kuyingomba ukuthi indlu yakho ayikho esimeni lesikahle sicela ke futhi bekunene ukuthi etinvende tikanjena uyothola ukuthi imifula seyiyagcwala ama-low level bridges emanti asahamba ngetulu siyasixwayisa sive bekunene siyasikhuta futhi sive ukuthi akube bede bekunene lolokothako awele imifula legcwele.
Inkampani elithuthukisa abosomabhizinisi labancane nalabasemkhatsini Small Enterprises Development Company ithi yenda tindlela letinsha tekuthuthukisa abosomabhizinisi njengoba kubonakala ukuthi abosomabhizinisi labancane abakhona ukuthi amabhizinisi abo abe ngilawo lakhonsako lokho kuvete ngilobambe kuba ngumphathi isikhumbuzo Mbuyisa akachaza ukuthi yini labayendako ukuqinisekisa ukuthi amabhizinisi lamancane agawi futhi athuthuka njengoba elucwaningo lwe-Finscope lomnyaka wa 2017 luthi bosomabhizinisi labancane abakhona ukuthuthuka kahle.
Incumbi yetinhlelo tetfu lesicecesha ngato bosomabhizinisi sesidama ukuthi sifake tebuchwepheshe sibonile kakhulu etikhatsini te-COVID-19 ngokuthi uma ibhizinisi ingekho ingadisebenzisi tebuchwepheshe iya-affecteka kakhulu. So siyadama ngokuthi bosomabhizinisi badame ngokuthi basaqhuba ibhizinisi badisebenzise letinhlelo tebuchwepheshe bayakhona ukuthi bafinyelele etimakethe letinengi ngasikhathi sinye. Phindze kuyabasita ekuthenini etinhlelweni tabo labatendako basakhiqida bakhiqide kangcono ngendlela futhi lebashiphelako. Lokunye lesikukhanza kumqoka sisasebenta nabo somabhizinisi
sifuna kuvala lomkhathi lokhona kubomake kakhulu labasemakhaya kulokuthola imali tekucala temabhizinisi sho ukuthi ke laba trainiwe lesibenabo kule program lephelile ngilabo ke lesitawuthi sifocus akibo kakhulu ukuthi naku sesifikile nishoda ngetimali tekucala sesiyakhona ke kuba sita ngetimali tekucala kufuna ukuthi vele ukhombise lokuthi uyosebenta nale business itawukhona lokuthi ibhadale back le mali bese ke soyakhona kusitakala sitabe sisebenta nakuyenteka cooperative lo tawuba nguye ke lo tasibukela lokuthi nabo abomake bese soyakhona ke lokuthi abakhona lokubaniketa leto timali nasekufikile leso sikhathi lokuleli business lakhe sebayabona lokuthi selingacala ngeke sesicale nje ngokunika imali sitawuhamba sitrainane kusathi lokuthi ibhizinisi iranwa njani ichubeka kanjani nekukhula kwayo kuba kanjani bese ke sesiyaphinze futhi sihamba sibamba netandla solo sichubeka lapho ke sesitawubona ke lokuthi ke labo 25,000 lesibaniketako laba loans badaleka over a period of 12 months sitawukubona lokho bayakhona kubuya yini khona nalesikhwama njengoba sisho sithi revolving khona sitawukhona kuphinde sitela abanye in future naselapha sebakhona kubhadala sithi ke nako ku-encourage nje bonke labakhona ukuthi abasonzele emahhovisi batawuva kabanti ngesikhwama and baphinze bangaya emahhovisini aka-ICDF akhona lapha ezulwini lapho sithi kuse-codec khona batabakhanza ke bathole more information nema-brochures sewakhona lesitawakhipha niwabone emaphepheni bese ke seniyakhona ukuthi kusitakale sithemba lokuthi sinasi igroup yokucala lesitayinika sitawuhamba vele siyibite umhlaba utowubuka nasibanika lawo masheke abo khona kutobonakala ukuthi sebaqalile abanye bayasebenza bese bayalandzela labanye.
Idlalo umqeqeshi weqembu le-Young Buffaloes Mandla Dlamini uthi kuqala kahle esigabeni sesibili senzebe ye-MTN Premier League kukhombe kubanyusela amathuba ekuphakamisa lenzebe yalonyaka. Abekhuluma ngemuva kokuthi iqembu lakhe lishaye Rangers ngeligoli linye ecanzeni kulemba lasomvo lephelile. Inkampani ye-Premier Bakeries yayisekele inhlangano emidlalo ye-Techball ngemali lengu-50,000 emalangeni. Kule mali lengu-35,000 itawusita kakhulu kade kuthenga impahla temacembu bese kuthi 15,000 emalangeni iyesekele le midlalo. Umsebenzi bebanjela Olympia Africa kalobamba. Sathi phethanga nedoda emidlalo hlala nathi ungayinzawo nasibuya siteka tindzaba tamdlavuza.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
I'm a very, 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 very happy customer.
I know.
Imali ebhizinisi ayidliwa wayidla ujabulala phasi.
Hayi imisebenzi yethu lesiyendako la ekhaya njengoba niyibona limihle nakangaka.
Ngiyakolosha which is crocheting.
Ngiyakhicita ke noko kakhulu emsebenzini wethu ikhumba.
Ngiyenda kodaba emaqiqi nokugaba ensangeni.
Ngilungisa emagedlela.
Hello, how are you? We are selling peanuts at 5. Thank you so much. Umdala kubusi.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
All right, it's 35 minutes after 7. Welcome to the program. We're going to talk to epidemiologist Kusile regarding the many concerns of a global cancer burden that's growing and not enough is done to intervene with services. That's global, by the way. We're not saying not enough is being done at home. But, according to the World Health Organization, most countries are not adequately financing priority cancer as well as palliative care services. Now, Kusile is a cancer epidemiologist with extensive experience studying how to eliminate cancer. She joins us now on the program to tell us if there are still discrepancies when Eswatini is compared to other countries in screening and cancer prevention measures, and how far we've come as a country regarding the cancer burden. Welcome to the program, Nkosi. Thank you for showing up again this year. We had quite a lot of interviews emnyakeni lophelile. Senibonile futhi inetinhlelo letiningi. I think le abanje ngizaba mlonyeni kakhulu kwaba nge-rollout ye-HPV vaccine. It's looking to be a lifesaver. Maybe to give us an overview of how far we have come, specific to one cancer type.
Thank you so much, Malo, and also Gumbogeli wetu. Siyabonga. Siyabonga kuthola le thuba nathi we really appreciate ngoba ngilona thuba lelinye lesenda ukuthi sikhone ku reach laba labanga reacheki even na7 la kangwane. So nasibuka imizaba emdlavuza, maybe as a country will say sita kahle in a sense ukuthi even sesiyakhona kutakhela kutikhicitela tethu tinombolo, which is lokusenda sikhona ukukhuluma ukuthi we have a burden in cancer noma we don't have a burden. So the issue of cancer registry, it brings a light ukuthi we have this evidence which shows ukuthi nathi as a country sinayo le burden. Of course nasibuka le tinombolo tethu nasibuka way back uyabona ukuthi each and every year the number of new people laba diagnosed nge cancer generally. And in Nasibuga from 2016, we've been 800, 900, 1,000. I think it lengi recall from 2021 and 2022, because good 2021 sabana 936, but to go 2022 saba now 1,108, which shows ukuthi manje itinombolo tethu vele tiya ngekukhula lapho sisakhuluma nje ngalaba thola lokwathi nje kuthi yathi ngine cancer angibabali laba lesebadi le khanza ukuthi vele umnotho wakangwane uyathintheka kakhulu in terms of banakekela labo bantu labo.
It's quite expensive. Cancer nje vele dulile. Kudendzaba ke lana, we know that like you are alluding to indzaba a number of new cases uthinza indzaba yenkulungwane nelikhulu nebantu labasiphohlongo 1,108. That's quite a big number. That's the recent study. I know that cancer is associated with deaths. We just saw it even in Namibia. They lost their president. There's worries now about King Charles. We'll get to that conversation later on. But maybe to give us a number, kulama number of deaths, kulo 1,108 lokhuluma ngaye. Engabe bantu bashiya kangakanani?
Okay. Bayashiya. Futhi I think basatashiya. Ngezathu sokuthi bantu bethu lesibatholako sibathola at a very late stage. Itolo besicabanga ukuthi mhlambe bathina batholakala baphode kulapheka, but nyalo uhulumende sosilethele sisida lesikhona kama embabana ngamanzini la sibheke khona ukuthi lo muntu nakaqala nakatipopola atholakala bese yaqala ethola le treatment. But ke vele nyalo nje ezosikhuluma nasibuka le data yethu kubo bonke abantu lesibenabo nje le cishe about 40% of them bagcina basishile emhlabeni of cancer.
That's over 400.
Yes, kanti of course we have people lasebabuyela emsebentini labatholakala sibane cancer la kangwane bacala i-treatment batreateka basesebabuyela emsebentini. Some of them will be seeing them tomorrow nje ku event yethu lekhona lokukhombisa ukuthi akusasi like kade besithi waba ne cancer nje uyafa. Now sithi waba ne cancer waphangiswa watholakala wathola lelo sida uyakhona ku survive with cancer so far ngalokunye
Yeah,
not necessarily ukuthi
cancer.
sobulawa i-cancer.
Yeah, I just want clarity kule period yale kutfola leti nombolo leti kule data collection lesinayo le recent. Is it a 5-year period, low 1,108, nalo over 40%, which is over 400, noma it's in a period of a year?
Lo 5 if kube bengikhuluma 5-year period ngangikhuluma ngabo nga 606,000.
Wow.
About 6,000 of our new cases. But now I'm talking of 2022.
Okay.
Uthi sibenale 1,108.
Wow.
Yes, for 2023 stakhona kumveta nga June.
Okay.
Yes.
Still collecting that data.
Yes.
Asesikhulume kenyalo Nkosi starting gender. I do recall ukuthi the most prevalent cancer we had in the country was cervical cancer, which was followed by prostate cancer. Is that still the case?
Yes.
And does that mean more females have cancer, just generally speaking, than males in Eswatini?
Yes, like ngibekise nje kulo 1,108 lesikhuluma ngayo generally. Bese kuthi 344 are males, then the rest are females.
Okay.
Lokusho ukuthi ke manje ngifuna kubuya nje kakhulu ukuthi we are commemorating a cancer day on the 4th. Maybe in the countries they commemorate SARS. Kahle kunale theme lethi closing the gap. So thine as a country the previous year 2022 bese closing the gap within the healthcare workers, empowering my healthcare workers, bonus bodokotela labasebenza nje edibhedlela noma emtholampilo. Last year besibuke the package the whole family. But siyabuka lokho mhlambe nasi whole family bese kuya generalize ku certain individual within the family. So this time around this year was saying we're closing the gap involving the men because we're seeing an increase in terms of madvodza latholakala analeyo naloyo cancer.
Yeah.
Sibekise nje lo prostate cancer lokhuluma ngayo. Kunale prostate cancer kunabo liver, kunabo lung cancer, kunabo penile cancer. I'm counting the top 5 of male cancers ne sarcoma. And now kubuka lokho kongitho I mean all this list we are saying risk factors of lama cancers lawo kunalawa longa khona ti controlela wona which is a modifiable risk factors and ikhona lawa longeke ukuthi connect control wena non-modifiable cancers. Right. And to the modifiable cancers ngilolo khona ukuthi controlela yona. Ngiko but nasibuka thina le list ya top 5 of male cancers ukhanza ukuthi 4 of them ngema cancers le males bekangakhona ukuthi controlela wona bangabi nawo lokufaka ikhathi le sarcoma because it's because of infection lesithola bo HIV. Then bese sibo liver cancer it's more on kunatha tshwala ngiko lokubulala kakhulu leso sibinzi sethu. A man can control that ukuthi reduce noma agcina ngakwenda. When you talk of lung cancer we're talking of smoking. Nakhona it's a responsibility indvodza lengakhona ukuthi manager ukuthi short is more on the behavior of that. The only one lesithi in non-modifiable ngile prostate cancer ngoba yona uyithola ngokuthi ezukhula my chances for you to have a prostate cancer they become high. And being the male also it's a risk factor nalokuthi mhlambe ikhona uyitholakele nasemndenini ngiko udikhanza uloko. So ngicabanga ukuthi it's more on the behavior of a man lesi ngathi if bengathi manje iyasukuma ithi no to this, no to this, no to this. Singabona lama numbers ethu are reduceka.
Right.
In terms of kuba ne cancer.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting because, just growing up, inzaba yekubhema behlala ikhulunyiswa leyo disclaimer yabo cancer. But it has been overlooked by many people, and as such, we've seen the number of smokers growing by the years. We don't know what the causes of that are. But, you speaking on, these things can be reduced or rather eliminated by my behaviors. You've touched on the lung cancer, which is associated with smoking, the liver cancer associated with drinking, and it is a big concern looking at how the alcohol consumption rate is going. But the Kaposi sarcoma,
the penile cancer, which is more also go to or infection,
again.
yes.
Yeah, I want us to get what is the Kaposi sarcoma cancer associated with?
Kaposi sarcoma, it's more a cancer liba khona esikhunjeni. It's associated with HIV.
So it's behavior again.
Yes, again it's behavior.
It's quite interesting. So I just want to list them by order. So you said the prostate, number 2 is Kaposi sarcoma, the penile cancer.
Yes.
The lung cancer.
The lung cancer, then the liver cancer. Yes.
All of which maybe as it's four.
We have a control.
We can control.
Yeah.
Yes, and they can really change my behaviors. It's deadly.
And the penile cancer has not been there. Right. It was the least. But the last 3 years, we are seeing it increasing. And it's more on the youngest guys. Wow. Kanti prostate, it's more on the adults. Although say yehla 50. From 45 upwards, but it cancer it's an unfortunate.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Asingene kubomake sasimbali the top 5 cancers lo affect abobaba ngabe kubomake ngowaphi wona ngoba ngiyafana ukuthi akhwala ukuphinza kube ne relationship khona ekuthenini ungibabe ungahamba uyolandzela make cancer nje ngebehavior yakho umlethele lapha ekhaya. I've heard of such instances, but maybe asasingene nje la kubomake sibuke khona the general cancers affecting bomake. Cervical cancer is probably number 1.
Yes, ngidawukhuluma kancane nabo make ndayikhulumisa but ngifuna le focus kakhulu ibe la kubobabe because this is their year to reduce a lot. But with the female cancers, yes, we have the cervical cancer which is leading, and now it's HPV related, and now most of the cases they are HIV positive, which is more on the behavior again. Yes, then bese kuba ne breast cancer. Breast cancer is also one of a non-modifiable. It depends on the family. But now we can control it in terms of some of the things like contraceptives. Reduce. And then the other one that comes, ovary cancers naboke laba related to the HPV related cancers.
And I would assume the Kaposi sarcoma
and the Kaposi sarcoma is there as number 3 if not 4. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So the HIV related cancers generally they are the ones that are leading, which is the cervical cancer, the Kaposi sarcoma, ovarian cancers. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's quite concerning. Ngifuna singene kule HPV kancane just that brief report kule HPV vaccine, because you did have the program last year. Let drive really to kutsini nijove kakhulu kati bantwana etikolweni kuhamba kahle konke lapha. I do believe, and you're probably looking at the next stage. I don't know when it's going to be this year.
Okay, no, thank you so much. In terms of the introduce the vaccine kuhamba kahle kakhulu because no comparison with other neighboring countries, we came with from the beginning we came with 55%. Le countries are calling about 37% nako. So with us, I think yes, kwasihambela kahle. And then as we introduce, we're also strengthening our facilities. It has to be routine. When the campaign mode, it become expensive. So nyalonje we are working with the EPI program. Routine stuff. Every child nagati 9 years old avele anikete umjovo njengoba every child na 85 years na idalwa kunemijovo lengenako. It falls under the schedules are routine. But we have also nurses in the schools. So we are relying on them also ukuthi kubantwana labangagcina bangakajovi nalabadawungena ku 9 years, they'll be there to help us to routinely in vaccinate the children at the Kolwen with agreement lesinayo with the Ministry of Education.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Kunenzaba ke njengoba ushilo ukuthi the focus kubobabe. Ngifuna singene kubuka maybe nje kuncistela believe le Namibia sibuke nalapha England nyalo King Charles what's happening, even though King Charles we still don't know what type of cancer it is, but we know that it's been diagnosed with cancer. I would assume it's prostate cancer even before they announce it. You know, President Guy Nkop, it was prostate cancer. My question would have been engabe yini le bangakuthi kube prostate cancer kakhulu, but I think you've answered that already shilo ukuthi ivamekuvela as usakhula, and unfortunately it's very minimal things you can do to prevent that. And you know, one would assume ukuthi, you know, for wealthy people it's supposed to be easier, not necessarily easy, because they can afford the best healthcare possible. Cancer health treatment is very expensive.
True.
I'm just looking at President Guy Nkop's death as the whole world mourns that a great Pan-Africanist, a great president. By the way, condolences to Leli Velela. Ndzaba lenkulu ukuthi yes, sayitholile a prostate cancer. We didn't know that story. Sithukile sonke. How do we get to such situations? And silivela kangwane, what do we want to say kubobabe? Noma nje even like you have said ngoba sayikile yavela kuma 40s nema 50s. What do you want to say to them ku World Cancer Day?
Okay, thank you so much. I-cancer noma ngabe ngiphi lengenta ukuthi ugcina uhambile emhlabeni noma ungahambi but uphile usurvive with it. Lokumancoba kakhulu is the prevention ngile screening. So noma ngeke ngarefera ku president, but in general ngubukete nalakithi nje local lokho ukuthi so long as utendela lo mkhuba wokutihlola now and again every year or every after 2 years uti check kwenda ukuthi le prostate cancer noma ungana control but ungaba nayo, the prostate cancer ya detecteka early bodokotela even locally they are able to remove that tumor bese uyakhona ke survive.
Okay.
The issue kokuthi ke so ne prostate cancer so uyafa ikakhulu kwentwa ukuthi we have delayed because loku unfortunate with cancer. I-cancer awuthi na uqala kuba nayo ube ne pain. So the fact like we don't have a pain, kanti prostate it's inside ayibonakala. Ngisho hamba, ngisho ungcono utibuka indvodza ngeke ukuthi manje ngingathi nginesikali. It's something lebale ngekhathi. So the fact lokuthi ile ngekhathi ayina pain kwenda ukuthi udelay. Loku uyakuyohlola. By the time uyohlola usuke sobona impawu letithile. Kanti sokusho ukuthi lapho suke seyikhulile lesikadla. Lesingakhanza ukuthi sesiya kuma stages la ngeke asakhona kumanageka. But loku khethu lengakusho kubobabe kuma males ngithi as families ukuthi asikwende kube ngumkhuba wethu lokuyotihlola. Uye nawuyotihlola utihlola ngoba ungenayo ipain. But nangabe sonayo pain still come ngoba ingatholakala estagini lesingakhonakala ku control. Lokuthi siyifune kakhulu isese ku stage 1 ngiyabekisa ngokuthi isuke iselendzawo yodwane isengakathathi yanabela kulamanye emaphathi emtini la ukhanza ukuthi mhlambe sekuthinta emathambo sekuthinta in leso singeke sakhona mhlambe kukumanager as kahle kakhulu like kube beku stage 1.
Okay.
So ke start prostate cancer angeke sithi na une prostate cancer udawufa. But asithi as we approach our 50 years asikufake kube routine lokuthi ngiyaya emtholampilo ngiyohlola. Sinetindlela etimbili tekuhlola, kuyathathwa nengadi uhloleke, kuyafuthi dokotela uyafaka sandla la ngemuva kubabe. A check abuke ukuthi kudeni lokuvuvukile. Lelo tinfolete ati painless.
Okay.
So kuyambita lokuthi babe atinikete yena ukuthi ngifuna kuyohlola. Maybe not even babe ngoba lo muntu athi wena nje as you are approaching probably ngokuthi ubone ungibabe. Singacabanga bomkhulu but as you approach about 50 years kufaka kube routine lokuthi uhamba uyoti check.
Ngisa approach at 30 by the way. Yeah, no, I wanted to
Yes.
joke a little
It's
bit.
okay.
But yeah, I'm still approaching 30, but I think I do hear you in Zabegwe. See, the biggest thing is early detection before the cancer metastasizes to other areas of, your body, and the frequency. Cishe kudeni nje kwasa HIV testing, that kind of behavior, would go and check. Yeah. It's quite interesting. We've seen a lot of programs, particularly in recent years, lenwendago as lihlangothi lelibukete emdlavuza, tindzaba te-awareness nekufundisa. Sisafuna kufundisa bona bobabe. I want us to take this opportunity to generalize mabom for everyone. Sisabuka yona lama awareness programs that you've done. Have we seen the appetite grow for emaswati ku doctor screener? Are we happy with emaswati lasetago ngoba phela akufuni ukuthi I do believe even these kind of interviews nabala babukelako banaka ukuthi hey canceling for ingoti kangaka, even it's unfortunate ukuthi sifunza ngekuthi kushone abantu. If people lose their lives sekubona le wake up call ukuthi asengiyotihlola. Are we seeing the appetite grow now for screening?
Yes, I would say maybe kubo make the excelling.
Okay,
Females
maybe
are excellent.
just I think it's a week ago.
Yeah.
You had a cervical cancer free cancer screening program.
Yeah.
Report Leo, then we come to the appetite here, the whole nation.
Yes, I think the report we saw a lot of women coming, although I don't have the specific data.
Okay.
Yes, because we're working with an NGO. Now. But because cervical cancer month is January, then October it's a breast cancer month.
Okay.
So that's why this January we're doing a lot of cervical cancer awareness screening and encouraging the female out there. There's one thing that's I appreciate with males. Bobabe, they're very good. In a sense that good team, they do budget for their wives, for their children to go for screening, which is very good.
Okay.
But then fisa ukuthi kuze babe best, let include kule budget family for care, they should include themselves. I'm here to say bobabe, let's prioritize nathi sifake la khathi as bobabe ukuthi isaya family now plan to go ensure ukuthi uyaya for the screening, because le sta kwenda nje kusasa will be sort of launching, although the clinic has been there, male wellness clinic le Lambaban. So nyalo sesi include le issue of screening for cancer. So sithini ke kubobabe sithi okay se understand ukuthi kaningi uyubeve bathi hayi thina sinake kunalo sifika lesibhedlela kunako labo make nako konke. Probably vele besibe very slow as a ministry ukuthi sibanikete nabo low attention. But we are saying now we have that clinic ukuthi bangayi, and the clinic le Lambabane, of course sisata uqhubeka sikhulumisane nalama facilities ukuthi basinikete nje just a room la khona mhlambe bobabe bangangena bathole lo privacy to go and screen. Meanwhile sisakusebenta lokho, angisho kuboba bethi wait until iclinic lethutane nawe ibe naleyo room yakho, it might take long. The best thing ukuthi hamba ufike emtholampilo lo thutane na usho lo ufuna kuhlola ndzaba damdlavuza. I'm sure ukuthi udositakala because bonesi seba capacitate on that.
Yeah, you said the theme is called closing the gap.
Yes.
Yeah, no, sibukela sikhutsata lokho bonke bobabe kakhulu maswati wonke empeleni kodwa nje yes the focus is bobabe bayakhutsatwa ukuthi yes siyabashayela tandla babambisa bomake and their daughters ekuthenini bahambe bayowenda screening but ihlole umdlavuza baka cancer ke bakhutsata nabo bobabe ukuthi abakusukumele etulo ukuthi nanabo but inake just as much they take care of their wives and daughters. Kusile lapha usiphenele inombolo ekuthenini in terms of my number of new cases, we are sitting at 1,108, which is a big number, especially when nakasiphake naleti nombolo tema deaths leti over 40%, over 400 people laba bese bashiya khutsata nje maswati ukuthi umdlavuza siusukumele sonke. Early detection is key, and the frequency ekuthenini siya kangaki kuyotihlola ubekuse period yabo 2 years ekuthenini every after 2 years hamba utihlola sikhutsata lokho ke emaswati. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. Sithemba ukuthi amaswati akuthethe lokho lo siphe kona sitabahlwethu makethe masinyane sitabuya sibukete indzaba tesingisi.
kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sende ukukhicita lokhu kusembili.
Ujala masada mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokho
Sifile sive sithi khulumeni.
All right, welcome back to the program. Just a minute after 7. Right now, we'll focus on the news. Preparations for the state opening of the first session of the 12th Parliament are at an advanced stage. Now, this has been said by Clerk to Parliament, Benedict Klapa. There's a report following.
As His Majesty King Mswati III is expected to officially open the first session of the 12th Parliament on the 9th, Clerk to Parliament Benedict Klapa says preparations are at an advanced stage.
We are excited that most of the things we're almost done with most of the things, and we're happy that His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Eswatini, tomorrow is going to be here in Parliament to do his final assessment, and also we are going to have a rehearsal. What I can emphasize is that we have issued invitation cards, but now due to the fact that our chamber is not very big, it can only take few people, so other people will follow the proceedings through the link that we have circulated. So I would like to emphasize to everyone who will be coming to Parliament that make sure if you have been given an invitation card, make sure you bring it with you. And if you forget the invitation card, you won't be allowed to attend, you won't be allowed inside the Parliament. So I would like to emphasize that this is a very, very important session, as it is the first session of the 12th Parliament, and His Majesty the King will be giving a policy direction to the entire nation.
The Clerk to Parliament also asked for a Maswati who will not attend the ceremony physically to follow the proceedings on different live streams by the national media. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Kusile, Parliament.
Maswati say they expect the 12th Parliament to formulate legislation and legal frameworks that will speak to the socio-economic development of the country. Now, members of the public were voicing their views on the expected state opening of the 12th Parliament yesterday. There's a report.
Parliament, amongst other functions, has a mandate to ensure socio-economic development of the Kingdom of Eswatini, and the Eswatini Television Authority had talks with Maswati on their expectations as the first session of the 12th Parliament will be officially opened by His Majesty on Friday.
Siyacela basibukele thina bomake kakhulu. Emadvodza. Ayazi athathe nakathatha umfati wesibili bese wena wekucala. Sewuyalahlwa lapha nebantu abakawusanako manje siyacela kube nemithetho lotosibukela thina bomake.
They say Parliament must enact laws that will focus on youth development, welfare of women and equality. They say members of Parliament are clear with what Maswati back in their constituencies are expecting from them as per their promises. On another note, the United Nations says Parliament is key to the attainment of Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Kusile with Tembingosi Mavimbela Lobamba.
Eswatini aims to have adequate water, food and energy for all its people by the year 2030, which is part of the Sustainable Development Goals, which encourage all countries to at least provide all basic needs for its people. This has been said by the director of the Global Water Organization, Kusile, in a stakeholder consultation workshop which was held at Sibane Hotel on Tuesday.
Kusile, who is the director at Water Affairs, says There are 3 concept notes that Eswatini needs to adapt, which include water adaptation and purification, disaster readiness, and food security for all.
We do have 3 concept notes, which in last November we met at Hilton Hotel, where we developed, we narrowed it down to 3 concept notes, which today we are developing to ensure that we attract funding from the Green Climate Fund. And one of the concept notes which we are dealing with today is we are developing further for fund mobilization is the water sanitation hygiene concept note that touches on ensuring that we do have wash initiatives in the country, which by so doing we are able to meet the sustainable development goals come 2030. As a country, we need to ensure that we do have adequate amount of water, drinking water for the entire citizens in the country. And also we've got adequate sanitation aspects and hygiene aspect for the country.
Before we adapt to these concepts as a country, we need to be ready and well versed. Thereafter, we can apply for loans that will help us implement these concepts to improve the livelihoods of all eMaswati. Eswatini TV, Pobuhle Dlamini, Ezulwini.
The Ministry of Health is concerned about the rise in scabies cases, especially in semi-urban areas. Now, this has been said by neglected tropical diseases focal person in Mbongiseni Matobela, who added that last year the ministry recorded 5,725 scabies cases.
With changes to weather patterns like temperature, rainfall, and humidity, the Ministry of Health says they are starting to witness the spread and shift of neglected tropical diseases entities into areas they've never been seen in before. Entities focal person at the Ministry of Health, Mbongiseni Matobela, says the ministry is concerned about the rise in scabies cases, especially in semi-urban areas.
If you spend 6 minutes inside water that is infected with bilharzia, so you will get infected. So we advise people, to avoid, those slow-moving water. And also, we have what we call soil-transmitted worms in the country. So usually we get it through unwashed fruits, vegetables. So we encourage people, to wash those fruits and vegetables. So another condition, I think nowadays, is getting attention, the snake bites. So it's also to advise people about snake bites. We have the night ardea, which is mating these days. So it's just advising people, when they're traveling at night, to watch out for those snakes. So we also have a challenge with scabies, especially in areas where we call them peri-urban areas. So we're seeing an increase in those areas of scabies. So it's just to urge, parents and guardians, to make sure they wash their kids, and also to improve their food, because it also goes with the nutrition. If the nutrition is poor, then we're bound to see a lot of scabies from the children. So that is another trend that we are seeing as a country on the scabies.
The Ministry of Health reports that starting from April 2023, there are 5,725 scabies cases and 653 reported malaria cases. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Senegal Koza Mbabane.
The Municipal Council of Manzini has had a consultation meeting with various stakeholders at the George Hotel to develop a strategy that will drastically improve the city of Manzini by 2030. Now, Manzini Council Acting Chief Executive Officer Sizwe Dlamini says the aim is to make Manzini a smart city by the next year, and in order for that to be achieved, there has to be collaboration between the municipality, government, as well as business owners.
The city of Manzini is expected to achieve most of its development goals by the year 2024, and young entrepreneurs have a huge role to play.
Ngasho ukuthi lesinako edolobheni kakhulu yindzaba ye-infrastructure. Singasho ukuthi lidolobha lelidzala.
Sizwe Dlamini, who is the acting CEO, says the biggest challenge they are facing is old infrastructure that the city has, which needs to be rebuilt. In the year 2020, the city of Manzini received an award for the best service provider in the SADC Service Awards. Thereafter, they received the ISO 9001-2015 award. Reporting for Eswatini TV, Poguhle Dlamini in Manzini.
The severe hailstorm that we saw on Monday affected 143 houses and disrupted the living conditions of 858 Eswatini. This was said by the National Disaster Management Agency's Communications Officer, Wandile Mavuso.
On February 5th, the Kingdom of Eswatini was hit by a severe hailstorm, causing extensive damage in the Wowo and Manzini regions. The storm was characterized by heavy rains, strong winds and hail, leading to significant destruction across the affected areas. The National Disaster Management Agency's Communications Officer, Wandile Mavuso, gave early assessment findings.
Lesikutfolako ke bekunene ukuthi imiti leshayekile lephephukelwe liphahla yashaya sangcotshwa amafastela limala ibe ngu-143 bese kuthi bantfu labatsinzekile labatsinve lesehlakalo babe ngu-858 kube nalabatsatfu ke labalimalako labalimele cishe kakhudlwana balinyatwa ngiwo emathayela la bese ayaphephuka noma tintfo lebalibeketi kwemathayela leti lekuthena kuphephuka leliphahla leto tintfo tabese tingena la khatsendini tiyabagcoba tikolwa leti tsikabedekile tibe timbili kwase kuthi emasimini umonakalo ube mkhulu kakhulu Maswati lamahle sikhuluma nje uma sicatsanisa isilinganisela kuma hectare cishe angu-92 la khona emasimini imbila nemabhonjisi kudla kwamaswathi lebeka kulimile kulimele.
Mavuso says the residential damage, household assets include furniture and vehicles, were also affected by the storm. He says the storm also caused damage to critical infrastructure, including 2 schools, businesses, telecommunication systems, and the electricity lines, resulting in power outages. He also says roads were also affected by the fallen trees and other debris. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with Zimuva Shongwe Mbabane.
Engaging financial institutions for support for small as well as medium enterprises and exploring the information technology sector are some of the things that Small Enterprises Development Company, SEDCO, is doing to ensure SMEs thrive. The Acting Chief Executive Officer, Sikumbuzo Mbuyisa, said this when responding on what is it that they are doing differently to ensure SMEs grow.
Training programs that are looking at your basic business management, how to do your record keeping, how to do your business planning. But also we are seeing especially more young people that are incorporating ICT in their business intervention. I think we have learned from the COVID-19 era that our SMEs should be capacitated on ICT so that they digitize their operations. We are also linking them to markets, which is very important because for any business to thrive, you need to have the market. We work with financial institutions to better understand what they are looking for when they go through the business plans, so that we help our SMEs understand how to structure their business plans so that they can access finance in financial institutions. As part of our programming, we are getting into the energy space. We can say that as a country, we are channeling our efforts towards making sure that we are able to sustain ourselves in terms of the energy that we use. So as SEDCO, we are working with our SMEs to get into that space so that we generate enough electricity in the various communities where we are, not only for domestic use, but also the businesses that can come up within that energy sector.
The selection process under the Women in Business Startup Microfinance Revolving Fund has already started. The Director of Small Medium Enterprises, Mluleki Dlamini, gave these details when giving an update on the Revolving Fund, which was launched in December last year, which is funded by Taiwan.
And we're at the stage whereby now we did receive applications that were processed through a committee, and we're still awaiting now the final output in terms of those that have been allocated, which then will result in the disbursement of the funds. So the funds basically are aimed at, it's a loan which aims at supporting women financially that are not able to access finance in your traditional commercial banks. So it will basically be a loan amounting to 25,000 emalangeni, payable over a period up to 12 months. So we'll be using a cooperative known as Guyentega, which will then basically be the one that will be administering this kind of fund for the women. And we are hoping that all the projects from all walks of life will be able to be funded through this project. And it wants to empower women, particularly in the rural areas. You will recall that in the past we had the program that we trained women on capacity building. So we're building from that project in terms of the next level, because now they've got the capacity, but the issue now is how do they start their businesses when they don't have access to finance. So that is when we then realized that we need to bridge that gap. Then from there provide this financial assistance. These are loans, they need to be repaid, and we hope that it will assist women as they continue with their business ventures.
Iranian-backed militants in the Middle East were not deterred by U.S. strikes in Iraq, Syria and Yemen over the weekend, launching 3 attacks in Syria and causing the United States to conduct at least 2 self-defense strikes in Yemen.
B-1 bombers flying from the United States to hit 85 Iranian-backed militant targets in Iraq and Syria on Friday, in response to the killing of 3 U.S. service members last week.
Our responses are not complete. Again, I'm not going to telegraph or discuss what that may be, other than we'll conduct that at a time and place of our choosing.
A day later, the U.S. and the U.K. struck 36 Iranian-backed Houthi targets in Yemen. But Iranian proxies in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen did not appear to get the message. Iran-backed militants attacked U.S. and partner forces in Syria 3 times since Friday. An attack near mission support site Green Village killed 6 Syrian Democratic Force partners. The U.S. also destroyed more anti-ship missiles in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen that were ready to launch into international shipping lanes after the U.S. and U.K. strikes.
We're not at war with the Houthis. We're not seeking to go to war with the Houthis. But if they continue the attacks, we will continue to disrupt and degrade their capabilities.
In addition to more attacks from Iran proxies, the U.S. is now taking heat from Iraqi officials who were not notified before the attacks and who say civilians were killed during the U.S. strikes that occurred on their soil.
Iraq, like every country in the region, understood that there would be a response after the deaths of our soldiers. As for this specific response on Friday, there was not a pre-notification. We informed the Iraqis immediately after the strikes occurred.
The Pentagon says it is still assessing the casualties from its military strikes over the weekend. To date, U.S. forces have been attacked about 170 times in Iraq, Syria, and Jordan since mid-October, while the Houthis in Yemen have attacked international shipping lanes in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden more than 30 times.
Chile began 2 days of national mourning on Monday, February the 5th, for at least 123 victims of a raging wildfire. Now, with the search continuing for the missing as survivors peek through the scorched remains of their lives.
Here in Viña del Mar, these makeshift tents are all that's left of this neighborhood, with residents forced to live on the burnt rubble that used to be their homes. Chile began its official 2-day mourning period on Monday after forest fires ravaged the country's center, its worst natural disaster in recent years. With the death toll expected to climb as emergency crews race to clear the wreckage.
There was a lot of wind and big balls of fire that would fly by. It burned like someone was throwing gasoline on the houses. I don't understand what happened.
This is the worst thing that has happened in Chile, worse than an earthquake or tsunami. Why? Because lives were lost here. Material things can be recovered with the help of neighbours, family, community and the government. But here, friends and a history were lost. And that can't come back.
Starting on Friday, the inferno blazed rapidly over the weekend, fueled by high winds amidst a heat wave that saw temperatures around 40 degrees Celsius. Officials say 14,000 homes are damaged and hundreds of people still missing, with a curfew set up in the hardest-hit regions and the military joining the battle against the blazes. Chile, Argentina and other areas in South America's southern cone have been grappling with a searing heat wave, with analysts predicting this will only be exacerbated by climate change in the southern hemisphere's summers to come.
The next story will focus on an unusual, powerful series of storms that are striking California.
The lives of millions of Californians are being disrupted by 2 powerful storms that have caused widespread flooding, mudslides, and power outages across the state. The second storm, which made landfall on Sunday morning, has parked over the Los Angeles area, where the California governor has declared a state of emergency for 8 counties. The storms are known as atmospheric rivers for the large volume of water they transport from the tropics and then rapidly release once they make landfall.
This is very rare and unusual and a strong signal of a very high risk of significant flash flooding.
Evacuation orders have been in effect in areas of Southern California most at risk for mudslides and flooding. In Northern and Central California, winds ranging from 60 to 125 kilometers per hour have downed trees and power lines, cutting electricity to nearly 1 million homes and businesses. The storm activity is expected to continue through Tuesday.
United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres announced the creation of an independent panel to assess UNRWA, its embattled agency tasked with helping Palestinian refugees. UNRWA is under fire over accusations by Israel that 12 staff members were involved in the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7. Now, more than a dozen countries, including the United States, Germany, Britain, and Sweden, have suspended funding to the agency.
Dozens of right-wing activists protested outside the UNRWA headquarters in Jerusalem Monday, demanding that the UN organization tasked with providing relief to Palestinian refugees cease operations.
We have here the headquarters of an organization, part of whose members, a large part, are terrorists. There is no difference between UNRWA in Gaza and UNRWA in Jerusalem. It's the same organization, with the same views and the same educational materials.
The protest comes after Israeli authorities alleged that 12 of UNRWA's 13,000 employees in Gaza participated in Hamas's October 7th attack. The Office of the UN Secretary General has announced an investigation to assess UNRWA's ability to ensure neutrality and respond to allegations of serious breaches. Former French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna will oversee the investigation, which will be carried out by 3 Scandinavian research organizations. The group is due to submit an interim report before the end of March. In the meantime, UNRWA faces a severe budget crisis as more than a dozen countries, including the US, have suspended donations because of the allegations. The crisis comes as millions of Gazans go desperately hungry, are at risk of disease, and are forced to sleep in crude shelters or even the streets amid continuing Israeli bombardment.
We hope that donors have taken clear notice of the swift action taken by the Secretary General. We also encourage other member states who may not have given to UNRWA in the past or had given in the past but have not given recently and have the ability to do so to show generosity.
UNRWA has said that without new funding, it could be forced to cease operations by the end of the month.
Protests shut down major cities in Haiti as demonstrations clashed with police and demanded the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry.
Protesting Haitians have given Prime Minister Ariel Henry until Wednesday to resign, saying his unelected government has done nothing to protect them from a devastating surge in gang violence.
Insecurity is everywhere. The roads are destroyed. No one can go on with their daily life.
Everyone should be able to have a higher living standard because our country is the mother of freedom.
Local media reported that this week's protests have paralyzed public transport and shut down banks and schools in northern and southern Haiti. Clashes with police will not deter the protests, says opposition politician Jean-Charles Moïse.
Attacks from the police only make us more determined. If Ariel Henry does not leave, we'll continue to protest.
Human Rights Watch recently estimated that more than 300,000 people were internally displaced in Haiti, and nearly half of the population is going hungry as rival gangs indiscriminately kill, rape, kidnap and loot as they vie for territory. The gangs have expanded their control across most of the capital and nearby areas, filling a security vacuum that was left after the assassination of the country's last president, Jovenel Moïse, in 2021.
Senegalese lawmakers voted to delay this month's presidential election until December, which is an unprecedented move that has sparked international concern over a country normally seen as a beacon of stability in West Africa. The bill was passed near unanimously with 105 votes in favor and just 1 vote against after opposition deputies were forcibly removed from the chamber.
Chaos in the streets of Dakar and in Parliament. Opposition lawmakers tried their best to block a bill aimed at extending President Macky Sall's tenure and delaying elections previously scheduled for February 25th.
Senegalese people, you have in front of you the enemies of the nation. This is a constitutional coup.
Soon after, several of the protesting lawmakers were forcibly removed from Parliament. Despite their efforts, the bill passes with 105 out of the 165-seat assembly giving it the green light, leaving Sall in power until new elections now set for December 15th. It's the latest flashpoint in Senegal's political crisis after the president announced on Saturday that this month's poll would be postponed indefinitely, citing an electoral dispute between Parliament and the judiciary regarding the candidate list. The move has sparked widespread protests.
It's about whether we're willing to let the regime that's in place move forward with its political agenda or to say no. And the answer for me is simple: no.
The violence has brought back bad memories of protests staged last June when supporters of disqualified opposition leader Ousmane Sonko clashed with security forces. Sonko has been in prison since July on alleged charges of insurrection. Fellow opposition leader Karim Wade has also been barred from running. Sall's opponents continue to call on their supporters to do what they can to, quote, defend democracy, fueling a crisis that analysts say is putting one of Africa's most stable democracies to the test.
King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer and has begun treatment. Now, the 75-year-old monarch will temporarily suspend public engagements, but will continue with state business and won't be handing over his constitutional roles as head of state.
He's just 18 months into his reign, and now King Charles is halting all public duties after Buckingham Palace announced that he's been diagnosed with cancer.
Just found out, so it's quite devastating actually. Yeah, I didn't know about that. It's sad to hear. Sad to hear. I hope he's
It's not nice to hear anyone's been diagnosed with cancer. I kind of feel bad for him. He waited all these years to be king.
The monarch was diagnosed while receiving treatment for a benign prostate enlargement. He was discharged from hospital just a week ago.
Subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer.
His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments.
Buckingham Palace said the King does not have prostate cancer. Following the announcements, messages wishing Charles a swift recovery began pouring in. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to say that he has no doubt that the King will be back to full strength in no time, adding that the whole country will be wishing him well. French President Emmanuel Macron also sent his well wishes on the social media platform, posting that his thoughts are with the British people. US President Joe Biden reacted to the news while speaking to reporters in Las Vegas.
Concerned about him, just heard his diagnosis, but I'll be talking to him, God willing.
And what's next on the border bill, sir?
Despite their strained relationship, Prince Harry says he'll be traveling from California to see his father in the coming days.
Here are the leading stories on sports news. Young Buffaloes head coach Mandla Dlamini believes having started the second round of the MTN Premier League, the positive note that they are seeing, they have won a majority of their games. They now stand a chance to clinch this year's league title. Dlamini was speaking after his side defeated Rangers by 1-0 this past weekend. Moving on to another story, Techball launch. Premier Bakery has handed over a sponsorship package to Eswatini Techball Federation worth 50,000 emalangeni. Eswatini Techball Federation President Mfanafuthi Bembe believes such support contributes to the development of the sport in the country. Well, that's it for our English news. We'll take a short break and we'll return shortly.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 762222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#, or you can use Eswatini Imali. You can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Welcome back. Sakuvusela nalo sanzaku sivulela sivedile ukuthi sithabe sikhulumisana nemaka TV license ngakokubhadalwa kwemthelo TV license njengoba document nje ukuthi velele department solo yachubeka nekudeliver on its mandate, which is to collect current and outstanding TV license fees as well as enforce the law as stipulated in the Swaziland Television Authority Act of 19 1983 kuthi i-TV license payment ephocelekile ukuthi wonke umuntu lo lapha eSwatini lona ama-gadgets either i-TV noma namanye ama-gadgets ukuthi abhadale before annually on the 31st of December of the issue of e-TV license. Kanti defaulting in payment of a TV license will result in a 50% penalty. I'm joined by Phumelele Dlamini esiwakhona ka-TV license kusichazela ukuthi ngabe kusebenzeke kanjani eminyakeni ophelile njengoba kukhumbula ukuthi nakhona bebasolo bagqugqutela sive ukuthi sibhadale ekakhulukati ngenyanga yengongweno ngoba ngiyona nyanga ingoni lapho kona kuyi-deadline asivusele nkosi saba ngokuthi ube nathi mhlawumbe sengakanzi nje kakhulu ngayo i-compliance level of compliance kusikhumbuta nje ukuthi le Swaziland Television Authority Act ithini vele ngekubhadalwa kwemithelo sobhadalelana lo mthelo lo.
Siyavusela Makagula siphinde sivusele nayo umbukeli ekhaya. I-Swaziland Television Authority Act njengalokho sobekile ya 1983 ikubeka kubo esobala lokho ukuthi wonke lona mabonakude noma ke lo yawuba naleyo ma-gadgets lokufaka ekhathi i-decoder i-set top box kujana noma njinja naletinye ke assets accessories now langakusita ukuthi uthole loyo msakazo wesithombe akukhathalekile ke ukuthi ngumuphi ihlobo kungaba nje isithombe semsakazo whether i-video or usebenzisela noma bo-CCTV camera lokho ukuthi wena you are in possession of kusho ukuthi kahle lo mthetho ukusebenzisa ukukhulumisa indzaba ye-possession lokho ukuthi unako esikhathini lesiningi ke lulu kuba naloko kungaconzi kahle esiveni noma kubantu labaningi ukuthi mosi kwami yebo vele ngekwakho kodwa ke ukuthi wena uze uthole leso sithombe semsakazo kunale mivila noma leyo lomgwaqo lokusitako ukuthi wena uze ufinyelele ukuthi uthole le sithombe lositholako.
I think vele kumele ukuthi vele sikhulumise kanengi lokho ukuthi vele sibhadalela ne-TV license. So apart from lokho ukuthi vele kusemthethweni ukuthi sibhadale i-TV license, I think kusichazele sivele ukuthi yini vele lobumcoka besides lo mthetho ingabe le mali abayikhokhako iyapi kumbe isita mhlambe etinhlelweni tekuthuthukisa umsakazo weSwatini TV ukuthi ukhicite mhlambe fresh content ingabe vele mhlambe ngibuphi lobunye bomcoka lapho ile mali isita khona.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Lulu vele sive kakhulu siyakufuna kukwadi lokho ngoba phela kuko konke kungaba ngomthelo but ekugcineni kunayindzaba yenfutfuko ye-development ye-value addition ukuthi I want my money kube ne-value lengi-edako ngibone nami so kubalile ke kunye kwako vele kungaba ngiko lokho ukuthi kusita jona umsakazo wesithombe eSwatini TV lekuyi-national broadcaster lokho ukuthi vele kube netinhlelo letimnanzi letitholakalako letifaka emaswati ikakhulu sine bantwana ke labaningi kulamalanga noma angithi insha ke nema-producers lamadzala lakhicita wona emafilimi kodwa ke lesikubonile emuva lokuthi liningi lalamafilimi akakhoni lokuthi enteke ngila sive sethu noma ngilabantu bala eSwatini noma ke sithengeke kahle ngetimali letibonakalako phela ngoba uyawati lolu lokho ukuthi yonke info now uyiproducer lo tindleko letingenako diba setulu sibonile ke na minister naye ayikhulumisa kabanti indzaba ye programming mhlawumbe nokuthi vele insha ibonakale nema independent producers asebenziseka saphindze ke na iSICOM Eswatini Communications Commission naye vele uyabeka kube sobala lokho ukuthi percentage lesetulu kufanele kube vele dinhlelo letakhiwo lapha ekhaya eSwatini so vele siyagcizelela lokho ukuthi sive asathi lokho ukuthi umthelo uhamba sigaba lesitse siyagcugcutela vele lokho ukuthi asiphakame bekunene uma kutawuthela munye kuthele babili bantu leyo mali iphansi kakhulu ngeke vele nathi sitigcabe sibe neligcabo singemaswati naleso kuproduceako ngiko ukhanza ukuthi liningi selena bucala ngikubeke ngebucala lokho ukuthi sesisubscribela mhlawumbe tinhlelo tasesikhwahlande nalamanye emave seseba umthelo phela waseveni lokho ukuthi thine asitheleli live lethu umthelo welive uthathwa ngilamanye emave.
I think nasingangena nje endzabeni compliance kuba indzaba vele nithola nikhuluma ngayo kakhulu Phumi nilapha nje lapha vele nisole nifuna ukugcotela sive ukuthi sibhadale ngiyo indzaba ye compliance nibonile na last year especially njenga December vele because that kuthi December nale deadline ya 31st ingabe sinivile insive nanisole nikhuluma nithi bhadalani ingabe mhlambe nasibuka nje compared to other years last year kuhambe kanjani kusebenzeke kanjani.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngibonga sive kakhulu hayi wena Mthombeni but esiveni lesisibambisile kakhulu siyaconza lokho ukuthi umnotfo awusilo kahle labaningi esikhatsini lesiningi bayazabalaza siye sibone emaphephandzabeni sibone emsakatweni wetithombe nasetindzabeni nje letiningi ukuthi vele umnotfo awusilo kahle but nje sithanda kuphakamisa lokho ukuthi emaswati adlihluphile ensureisha lokho ukuthi lo 31 December akangitholi mina ngingiloyo lo namabona kutse noma ke lo nema devices noma ke ngingileyo business kungaba ngilethengisa lama devices kungaba nje ibusiness lesebenzisa lo mabona kutse for ema cameras batihluphile bekunene bebashaya bebasonzela bebabhadala so kulama pay points lahlukahlukene timali ngekuhlukana kwato betibonakala vele tingileti phakeme siyabonga kakhulu siphindze sichubeke siyacucutela ukuthi nawe lo sengaphumele baleni buya ubhadale umthelo wakho wamabona kutse buya uve imilayeto lengakusida ukuthi ugcine ukhonile kwenda sinqumo lesingiso ukuthi ubhadale lo mthelo wakho wamabona kutse.
So ucalile umnyaka lomusha kumbe dikhona into inhlelo mhlawumbe letisha lentati lenibuke ukuthi introduce as libandla la TV license nguphi futhi lani buke ukuthi nitawugcinisa khona as usachubeka umnyaka
kuse shall I say it's our dream it's our desire lokho ukuthi sihlangothi la TV license nathi sichubeke sibe khona ebantwini angithi le client customer care nale contact ukuthi sibe nayo mathutane kuze ukuthi sive sichubeke singesabi ngoba usina ukhuluma ngokuthi ngi-TV license athi umuntu so dangibopha kanti asati phela sive lokho ukuthi akusiko ukuthi sine nakuvela TV license noma laba bemthelo wamabona kutse kusuke sekulicala cha esikhatsini lesiningi ukuthi nje sicucutele sifundzisane sithole imlayeto lengiyo satise nalokuthi nawe usanalo lithuba lokuthi ungawubhadela umthelo how can you contribute to the enhancement of the industry how can you contribute to ensuring that we pride ourselves as citizens of Eswatini with our own productions so sinato letinhlelo lulu lesitifisako kudenda lokungafaka ikhathi mhlawumbe later emnyakeni kumbe sibe nayo i-competition 1 or 2 ema-competition ngoba phela nalapho sibambisene naletinye tinhlangothi letingito leti bese tiyasponsorisha so tikhona in the pipeline lokunye lesinako kucinisa indzaba yekuqhubeka sifundzise nayo ke indzaba yokuthi phela vele lama door-to-door inspections sitawuchubeka nawo kube ngilaphakeme sichubeke siphumele esiveni mhlawumbe ke ngekuvuma kwema budgets netimali sende nawo phela ema road shows kuze ukuthi solo sizama kufinyelela khona esiveni ukuthi sonzela uthole umlayeto lo correct nge-TV license
njengoba nje ucetha kusho nje ama door-to-door inspections solo naqala nje nelibandla vele niyaphuma niyangena nivakashela amakhaya titolo niyahlola compliance ukuthi bamvu bayabhadala yini khona la nithi nivakasha khona nakhanze ukuthi hayi kulendzawo le bathi abayadi nje TV license ukuthi nikutholile yini lokho as nisenda ama inspections
sikutholile kakhulu ikakhulu elibonjeni kune challenge I think yekufika kwakhona siteshi sethu semsakato we-TV so liningi laba besiya kubo sibangqongqothela bokhanza ukuthi noma anayo i-information mhlawumbe skewed ayisiyo lephelele so akadi kahle kahle lokho ukuthi ngenda njani ngenza bayemthelo wamabonakude lo munye nje wagcine mhlawumbe ngokubhadala nakayithenga leyo device yakhe esitolo but abangasadi lokho ukuthi sengishona apha emva kwaloko so vele indzaba yekuphumela ngaphandle sifundzise sona sive sita iqinisa kakhulu ukuze ukuthi loyo naloyo Eswazi citizen abe another correct information.
Siselapho nje ama-inspections nesachubeka yini nawo ngigcine niselibonjeni engabe niseloni khona noma mhlawumbe senichubekela kwenye indzawo
sicover lonke live lulu kuqale lo mnyaka njena kusho ukuthi besihambela emabhizinisi ikakhulu in town and out of town njengalokhu ngisho ke naselibonjeni besikhona khona siyile nje savakashela res lokuyi Royal Eswatini Sugar lapho khona si-inspectile kakhulu inkampani singasayanga phela edindzaweni la kuhlala khona disebenzi kuphela but nato tinkampani emahhovisi sawangenela sawa inspector sitawuchubeka ke kulenyanga lena lesikuyo mhlawumbe kugabancela ku March sichubeke nakhona si-inspect sitabe sikhona khona eSimunye sitawuhambela Ngomane naboThabankulu and surrounding areas nakhona solo sihlola i-level of compliance nokuthi ke ingabe sivele loyo lesikhanza ukuthi usengabhadali umthelo wakhe wamabonakude usitekala kanjani.
Yeah. So nanifika nisendela ama-inspections nita nawo onke mhlambe timvo 10 imishini nekusebenta just in case someone wants to pay leso sikhathi uyakhona nikubhadala uyakhona nisitakala
lesikuqinisako silihovisi Lulu sithi phuma uhambe uyobhadala ku the designated pay points kusho ukuthi ungaye eposini lelithutane leseSimunye mhlawumbe ke nasemhlume hamba ungabhadala la ukhona khona ehovisi ngoba phela babhizi vele emshinini so sinaye mobile money uyakhona kubhadala ngaye uyakhona kubhadala imali noma ke wende leyo EFT indzaba yokuthi kutawuba nalokubhadalisa esandleni siya kugwema ngaso sonke isikhathi Lulu uma ngabe kuyendeka kuba ne speed point saka TV license but ke lesishoko ukuthi loyo muntu loyo uyawutshelwa ukuthi sitabe sikhempe kuphi akusiko nje ukuthi sengibonana nawe emthombeni sengithi nice speed point swiper elikhadi lakho ngoba kungendeka kube engcenye sowunika sigebengu leyo mali yakho so sigcizelela nje kakhulu vele esiveni ukuthi nine bekunene siyacela lokho ukuthi nangabe kukhona mhlawumbe losafike kuwe wathi bhadala i-TV license esandleni caphela nangabe kukhona losakunika i-account siyacela lokuthi nayo uyiverify njengaloku sibona nje kunema adverts mhlawumbe la khuluma noma i-message leshoko lokho ukuthi naye account ye TV license uyibhadala kuphi kuseNetbank kuphela la ubhadala khona umthelo wamabonakude nakhona siyacela lokho ukuthi vele bese lo ekunene usheshe uyaverifya ungabuta tincingo kuloyo lokhuluma naye ukuthi ngikuphi lehovisi leni la ngangishayela khona batongisita ngikushesha khona ke nenombolo yesteshi ungashayela esiteshi kukhona elikhasi Facebook nakhona uyakhona kubona ukuthi Eswatini TV ingabe ngisidakala kanjani ngoba sesiyesaba bekunene sibaningi sibantu la ngaphandle lesizama quick money sengishelo nje bantu benkosi labathi nabo bazama ibhizinisi ngalokungekho emthethweni
ngihlaba lulwimi inkosi siselapho nje nike nabanawo yena ama reports ukuthi mhlambe indzawo lethide sekubikwe ukuthi kunemuntu logebenge abantu apposer as mhlambe sesebenzisa ka TV license also nje kuva ukuthi nakafika lo umvulo ka TV license ufaka tembatho leti kanjani
mhlawumbe this is caution ngoba ngalesinye isikhathi ukhanza ukuthi sesifika mhlawumbe kuthiwa angibekise nje sike sabase etshaneni emhlume kwaba nekuthi bese kunebantu lo bese kungathi nasisenda lama inspections bese bazama ukuposa njengema inspectors aka TV license but ke lokho bese kuyehluka kubo ngiloko ukuthi bebede letimbatho but-ke uyalati ilwimi ukuthi lenda njani. Very sweet, and some people are able to get away with that. So as a department yaka TV licensing, loku caphelisa nje sive ukuthi bekunene asizame lokuthi singasheshi sigijimele ukuthi hawu uthi ngibhadala kuphi, qale uvisise kahle uthole imininingwane nangabe unekungabada cha ungayikhokhi imali yakho, hamba uye ebhosini bhadala nga-mobile money likhona luhla uyabona *007#, uye ku number 3 la kuthi pay bills and electricity, bese ke uya ku number 6 lapho khona kuthi TV license. So sicela nje kakhulu esiveni lokho ukuthi sinake indzaba ye information imcoka kakhulu.
So le tembatfo tona kuba khona.
Thank you. On that one, yes, njengaloku ngigcokile nje Lulu, kusho ukuthi inspector waka TV license utambona ngale logo ya Eswatini TV. Netinombolo ke utatibona. Lokuningi utakubona sombona lo ekunene. Kodwa nje siphakamisa lokho ukuthi nati timbatfo there is a certain element lotayibona nelhovisi ngiyathemba ukuthi nalo litasinika vele ukuthi siphuma nani kuze kube nesiciniseko sokuthi lo muntu uphuma Eswatini TV.
Yeah. So uke now telana kwakhuluma ngendzaba yokuthi I think lokunye lenikhanza concern ama inspections ngendzaba yokuthi abanye bayakhala ngokuthi ma TVs abo solo ahlala mhlambe semadzala basawasebenzisi noma ke lamanye sewaphuka vele abasawasebenzisi, so sikuplace thing sokuthi ayibhadalele TV license. Lasibuka lo mthetho vele uthini njengalokho?
Umthetho sita ukhumbutana Lulu lokuthi ukhuluma ngepossession. Lokho sho ukuthi whether ihleti leyo device yakho isesekuwe, isesetandleni takho. Nelihhovisi ke awukalatisi lokho ukuthi mhlawumbe lo mabona kutse wakho awusasebenzi noma sigujana wakho noma idecoder so wakwenda kanjani. But sikhuthata lokho ukuthi vele asisukume sive sisonzele ehhovisi sisho lokho ukuthi uyatilana sengidibene nenkinga. Sinetindlela ke to kube senathi siyaproba siyakhulumisana ukuthi ingabe kungiko yini singagcini wonke umuntu nami sengiloyo namakhelwana sagijima ukuthi ngivile bathi hayi ngingayicisha kanti phela lo mthelo uyathingeka lokuthi wena ukhokhe singabi ngilaba bede liqiniso. So yes, again I'll go back to that Lulu logo reminder logo ukuthi sinema declaration forms where you declare noma usho lokho ukuthi sigaba samabona kutse wakho sikuphi, kungendeka kube seyafa so uzamile nokuyilungisa kodwa ayilungiseki, nalapho siyacela lokuthi ude as long as kungakakhanseleki ku system umthelo uyachubeka uyabala ngeminyaka, so umuntu angadikhanza anesikwelete lesisetulu nangabe ke mhlawumbe iyebiwe nakhona lapho kunetigaba takhona uyeda ne-police report bese nakhona uyasikhomba ukuthi vele sesikuleso sigaba sokuthi awusenayo wena. Nangabe ke irepossessiwe mhlawumbe etitolo ngoba kuba nalokuthi mhlawumbe uthenga nge-higher purchase lo wekunene but so ugcine sokuthi so ucela ukuthi akhansele mhlawumbe leso sivumelwana naleso sitolo, nalapho sicela ukuthi bese lo khanselelwe kuyeda naleyo ncwadi le shoko lephuma esitolo, nalapho silandzele itindlela tekuthi siyikhansela kanjani akachubeki abhadale umthelo. Ngiselapho nje ngicela ku clarify noma ngisho esiven lokho ukuthi if it is repossessed or there's a cancellation, bese kuba nokuthi mhlawumbe leyo TV license setawuchubela kulenye TV. No. Kwanyalo uthi lo mthetho every device TV license for each device. Lokho kusho ukuthi ke leyo TV license awukhona kuyichubekisela embili. angadi noma ku-clear yini emthombeni lokho ngoba ukhanza umuntu asathi but ngobhadela umthelo sekufanele ngingayichubela yini kulele sinye isitolo noma kulelenye i-device lesese ngiyithenga. No, it's one TV license for one device.
Okay. Kuma kokugcina nje Nkosi kuva ukuthi as part of tinhlelo tento ekucinisa mhlambe kusebenza kwenu sitawabona in my prosecutions lonyaka ngiyakhuluma ukuthi I think it was 2 years ago na last year sinibonile benibathumelela abantu masamane vele bavele enkantolo bayibhadalele yo fine setakubona inaloko lonyaka bamfu bathumelela masamane bavele enkantolo.
As our last resort Lulu, yes. Njengaloko ngishilo ukuthi indzaba yemthelo wamabona ukuthi akusiko ukuthi siyabophana cha. Kodwa ke kukhona la kubese khona sesiphocelele kakhona. Lokho ukuthi sigcine vele sekuba nalendzaba yokuthi cha lona bathi siyamkhumbuta siyamlanzelela uyexwayiswa ngaleto tindlela uyethembisa but aka indicate nalokuthi mhlawumbe kunabulukhuni. So sikuthatha thine silihovisi lokho ukuthi uyak-ignora lokho lakatshelwa kona noma nje chooses to neglect ukuthi abhadale umthelo wamabona ukuthi so lapho kuleyo ndlela ke bese ke kuba nalokuthi vele hand over to the legal sector lekungiko ke laba bese vele sebayayithatha aphe seyiya edinkantolo. But nje kungaba ngiko ukuthi this is indlela lesifika kuyo ekugcineni sesilandzele tonke tindlela lesingazama ukuthi sisite loyo losebhizinisini noma loyo lonamabona kuthi ekhaya kuze kuthi afinyelela agcina abhadale umthelo wamabona kuthi.
Alright, thanks so much Nkosi Sibonga kakhulu. Mbukele there you have it umthelo wamabona kuthi obalekile kanti if you want more details or more information you can call the number letivela ku screen noma ke you can visit the Eswatini TV Facebook page ufunza kabanti ngakubhadalwa komthelo wamabona kuthi. Let's take a break sabe sizovala hlelo.
I'm a very happy customer.
I know.
Imali ebhizinisi ayivika wayidla utobulala phansi.
Hayi ngimsebenzi yethu lesindako la ekhaya njengoba niyibona limihle nakangaka.
Ngiyagolosha which is crocheting.
Ngiyakhicita ke noko kakhulu emsebenzini wethu ikhumba.
Ngenda kwegaba emacici nokwegaba entsanyeni.
Ngilungisa emagedlela.
Hello, how are you? We are selling peanuts at 5. Thank you so much. Umdala kubusi. On the strat, baby.
Thank you for joining us. Kanti, if you've just opened your TV, noma ga YouTube wako ungasonga khona kusibukela na ga YouTube or rewind nje takhona kusibukela Eswatini TV, your favorite show.
Yeah, just maybe another reminder, 2 p.m., am I correct? Yeah, 2 p.m. Do tune in for Business Watch, the brand new program. You do want to miss it. Yeah.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom